Well, welcome everybody. This is Business Over Beer Untapped.
Untapped.
I'm Ben Surratt,
And I'm Kimberly Keys.
and welcome everybody. Today who are we interviewing?
We are interviewing Connor Webb. What do you do, Connor?
That's a tough question. I'm a mortgage lender by day. I'm a sports enthusiast and sports content creator by night, by weekends, and during the day also. Now kind of becoming a video marketing YouTube expert in the community. And so kind of a blend of all of that is just a short answer to what I do.
Perfect.
Well, we're going to get all of that. But before we do, I want to get the Couch GM for sure. I want to get to your YouTube workshops for real estate and realtors. But before we do you want a beer?
Let's do it.
All right. Cool.
It is business over beers.
It is.
Yeah. So today we have Lewitt, nice little Lewitt cooler.
Oh, sweet.
We have 3 different Lewitt beers and then also a non-alcoholic sparkle hops from Pelican.
What would you like? Well, I'll let our guest pick. What would you like?
What are you taking? I like IPAs,
Can't remember what's in there.
hazies.
Jeez, you do have like...
There's 3 different kinds. So there's Relentless, which I don't remember what it is.
Ooh.
West Coast IPA.
Tall boys. Sure.
Okay. There you go, Connor.
And then there's the 216 red. And then
Thank
I think
you.
there's a Shinobi in there.
I'm going to do a Relentless too. Is that cool?
Yeah. You do you.
You want one?
No, I'm okay.
You're good? Okay.
Well, let me see. I don't know.
Okay.
We're going to go 3 drinks over here.
All right.
Thank you and cheers.
Cheers. Ooh, that's a good sound. So, are you from here originally? Are you from Washington?
Yes.
You born and raised?
I was born in Southern California, actually, and then my parents moved to the Bay Area briefly for a few years, and they moved up here when I was in kindergarten. So like 99, 2000 is when they moved up to Ridgefield, Washington. So I've lived in Ridgefield, Washington, essentially my entire life. I ended up going to school at Washington State University over in Pullman. Before that, I
Go
ended
Cougs.
Yeah, go Cougs. I went to Skyview High School in Vancouver, got a boundary exception heading into middle school. My parents just thought I would have more opportunity with sports and the SMT program that they had at Skyview. But Washington State and then back on this side of the state. So now my wife and I, we bought our home in Ridgefield in 2021. Perfect timing with everything with the market and interest rates and all that. So yeah, been here essentially my entire life.
You said you're a mortgage broker, right?
Yep.
What got you into that?
So during the summers in college, I worked in a steel mill, 12-hour shift, swing shift. It's a long story, or a tangent. My dad has been a steel salesman since he graduated from college. And so my brothers and I separately during the summers in college, we would work in the steel mill that he worked at. So we'd be the summer hire there. I learned pretty quickly I did not want to be doing that at all. My uncle gave me the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Gary Keller. And so during my breaks in the steel mill, I would be reading this book and just learning about passive income, investing in real estate. That's how I started. That's how I had any idea of, real estate investing. That made me want to major in finance in college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Just decided to major in finance to try to learn about how money works. And still didn't know what I wanted to do. But coming out of college, I ended up having a foot in the door at a mortgage company. A friend of our family worked for a mortgage loan officer. So myself and someone else got hired on at the same time to work for a loan officer. I was just reviewing documents, W-2s, pay stubs, tax returns, just kind of cutting my teeth, learning anything that I could. So learned a lot about the mortgage process, how it works. Eventually broke out, switched companies, became a loan officer. Eventually got connected to my prior employer. And, I've been in mortgages for 8 years now. So it's just been one thing after the other. I just saw an opportunity to learn about mortgages and how real estate works in general. And now it's turned into, I really enjoy educating people. And that's the biggest thing. I'm not a salesperson. I hate sales. I don't want to have to try to sell you. It's like I'm genuine and wanting to help people reach their goals and educate. And, the sales part of it is like a separate thing on top of that. So, yeah.
My wife's the same way when it comes to sales. She doesn't like it. We always say, like, she's the steak, I'm the sizzle. because I love going out and shaking hands and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But like,
Kissing babies.
yeah, I love that stuff. But she really helped me because even though I'm like very personable, I had a tough time closing the sale. She was really good at it because of what you just said. She would help educate the buyers and the sellers that we dealt with. And I think that's a great technique and a great way to do it because it keeps you honest and you're transparent. Because I'm just telling you what I know and I'm teaching you so you can make a better decision.
Right. Absolutely.
So
And if you provide the most value, then naturally, people are going to want to work with you.
Boom.
So
Yeah.
even if it's a long game. So
Love that, bro. So you said okay. So did you play any sports in college?
not in college. I played baseball, football, and then I swam my senior year in high school. And I didn't know the recruiting process. I didn't hit my growth spurt until later on. I wasn't one of the star athletes or anything like that. I could have played community college baseball somewhere, but ended up deciding just wanting to experience the 4-year university deal. And my older brother had been going to WSU at the time. So over the prior years, I went up for Dad's weekend with my dad to visit him. And I decided right away I wanted to go to Pullman. That's the only place that I applied to. So decided I wanted to do that. I played intramural sports throughout college there. And actually my senior year, the first weekend, I was at a bus stop next to my apartment. And I met a guy that my friend was wearing a baseball shirt. This guy asked, like, hey, do you guys play baseball? And we're like, oh, yeah, we used to. And we started the WSU club baseball team up there my senior year. So
Oh, wow.
we just like set up tables on campus, and anyone wearing a baseball hat or baseball apparel, like, hey, do you play baseball? And so we ended up putting together the club team, and we ended up traveling that next spring to like Boise, to Montana. We played Oregon State. We played Seattle U, all these different universities club teams, and it was
Dang.
competitive, like fast pitch baseball. So it was a great time. It was a really fun experience.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever play any sports? Peas?
No.
No?
Doesn't mean I didn't want to. We were very poor, couldn't afford to do that, had to work, but yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, I love
enjoy
sports.
watching.
Yeah,
There you go.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love sports analogies.
We ran into each other at the Pickles game. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
And
playing for the Pickles
he was.
All-Star
Yeah.
team, and
Stop.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Kim.
I was like, coming out of the bathroom. What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You played for the All-Star team or whatever?
Yeah, so the Pickles All-Stars are different than the actual Pickles. They're by the same franchise. The Pickles put it on together to probably just to try to make some more money when the Pickles are out of town during the summer. But it's former players. There's actually like 5 guys on the team this year for the All-Stars that are currently college players, like younger, freshmen, sophomores.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some guys that were former minor leaguers. Mark Lowe, who was a relief pitcher in the bigs for 10 plus years, ended up coming out and playing for the Pickles All-Stars. So he's like sitting 90, out there as a 41-year-old. So it's random people. It's kind of whoever wants to show up, and we're drinking beers in the dugout and just having a good time.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, that's been fun. But I've been playing in an adult league in Portland for like 7 years now.
No way.
6, 7 years. And I think I am hanging up my cleats after this year. It's just time.
Yeah.
Starting to get the wear and tear on the body, and just the amount of time that it takes to drive down there. And
Yeah.
So anyways,
When do you think we're going to get robot umps?
hopefully soon.
Yeah,
I mean,
bro.
Guys
Well,
like CB
Angel
Buckner,
Hernandez is
yeah.
gone, so that
It's the start. Yeah, I mean, it would be hilarious to see how many calls are overturned.
dude, there's a YouTube channel that does that. Like, have you seen the minor leagues and how they do it? How the
Yeah.
challenge works and all that? It's fast.
Yeah, within like 5 seconds,
Yeah.
it's overturned.
Yeah, I love it, man.
And it shows it on the Jumbotron out, like the strike zone.
Yeah. For people who don't know what we're talking about, explain what robot umps really are, what it is.
So basically the, technology in the cameras that they have within the stadium draws out a strike zone depending on how tall the hitter is. And if someone thinks, whether the pitcher or the hitter or the catcher thinks that the call should be overturned, then they just tap their helmet, and then it'll go to the Jumbotron and show the actual 3D image of the strike zone. And if it touches the strike zone at all, then it's a strike. If it's outside, then it's a ball. So right now, yeah, you can't overturn strikes or balls. So that'd be pretty big.
It would be huge.
Yeah.
It would be awesome. And we have the technology. Let's use it. So you like baseball.
A little bit.
So talk about, well, I want to first see the parallels between what you learned in baseball and playing sports with what you're doing with your mortgage company, and how that, do you use some tactics that you learned from sports to your mortgage company or your mortgage career?
Well, I would go back and say that a lot of it has to do with my upbringing and the standards that, my parents had in the household. To be honest, my dad was pretty strict, and you could say he was hard on us a little bit, because he knows that, our potential is high. So it's like he expects, B's or A's, nothing less. And so that expectation and that instilling the hard work growing up and doing yard work and doing things around the house, and you have to be playing a sport, otherwise you have to be getting a job. So it's like a lot of that led into the hard work and just the kind of what it takes to get to where I am now. But a lot of it also is coming from the inside, to where in the same light, my dad would come home and we'd always sit as a family for dinner when he got home from work. And a lot of the time he'd be complaining about how he's going to be working until he's 70 plus years old and how he doesn't like his boss and like all this stuff. And I just did not want to do that. And I didn't want to not enjoy any part of, and I wanted to be able to be free from any, authority basically long term. And so that led me into the entrepreneurship journey. And I'm always like a high upside guy. So that's where I'm commission based, for better or worse. And so when it's slow, you're probably not making much money, but the potential is there. And I'm always going to bet on myself in every way. So I'm going to take the highest upside route, and, because I believe in myself and my ability and just the drive and hard work to get to where I want to be long term. And I don't really goal set, which is for better or worse also. Yeah, it's like,
Interesting.
I mean, sure, it'd be cool to have round numbers for subscribers or income numbers, but I'm going to do everything on a daily basis that I know will get me to where I want to be long term, and wherever that takes me, I know that it'll be in a good place, but I'm not going to stress over not meeting a certain metric, because the only thing that I can control is my input. I can't control the output of the results. So that's a way to kind of reduce my overall stress and not put unnecessary stress on myself. Even when I've been in tough financial situations or, whatever, it's like, just stay grounded and just try to be in the moment and be present.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I think I like to call, realtors and MLOs, mortgage loan originators, I consider them as small business owners, because they at the end of the day, they determine how much money they're going to make and how much work they're going to put into it. Same as a small business owner, man. Like, you determine what you're going to get back from what you put into it. And, you have to learn how to ride the wave and learn how to pivot. Like, I think there was some pivoting like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, how many realtors and MLOs left because of the rate hikes? A lot. It was crazy, the numbers.
I think it was like 30-40% the first year, and then another 30 or so percent the second year, and it's just going to keep continuing because things are still slow. Rates are still high.
Yeah.
So,
but like, you were able to do it because you have the mindset, and that's a great thing. Like, look, I'm just going to put in this. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't. I'm just going to ride the wave.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And take the opportunities where they are.
Yeah.
For sure.
Keys.
Yes. I'm just listening. I'm taking it all in. This is great.
Yeah.
No.
I don't want to bore people.
I'm not in that industry. You guys are in some format.
Yeah.
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 Like, he's obviously been in it too. So.
And just to add on top of it, it's like, I'm okay if I'm not the highest producer, right? It's like, I'm just not going to do certain things that I don't want to, or that I just don't enjoy. And that's like the whole sales thing. I hate sales.
Yeah.
I'm going to educate and do what I can, but I'm not going to beg people for business. I'm not going to do certain things, and, to what it is.
Yeah.
On that note, you had a great way of educating people with your new venture. Tell us about the Couch GM.
So the Couch GM started 2.5 years ago. So backing up again, when I got out of college, I got enrolled. The same guy that I met at the bus stop, he got me into a fantasy baseball league with a bunch of his other college buddies and high school buddies and stuff from California, Arizona. And it's a really competitive league. And
If anybody doesn't know, I said woof because, man, it's a daily thing. You have to check your team daily, your pitchers, your lineup. It's brutal. So anyway, sorry, but for people who don't do it, it's a grind.
And because at the time I wasn't watching all of baseball necessarily, I'd watch some highlights, but I'd watch Mariners games when I could. But getting into fantasy baseball, it made me want to watch all teams and learn about all the players so that I could know who to draft or which prospects are coming up, because there's a prospect slot that you have available. So that started to get me locked into baseball as a whole. And I was locked into watching the Mariners, and there was really only one YouTube channel out there at the time that was talking about the Mariners. And I would watch a lot of their stuff to just be informed on the players and what to expect. And about 2019 is when the rebuild started. So they traded the guys with the most payroll on their team to another team in exchange for prospects. And so the Mariners ended up having one of the top farm systems in baseball, if not the number one farm team. And so heading into 2020, 2021, I saw where things were heading. And, you know, I had certain takes on players and teams in the past that I was right on. And I was like, hey, I should have made a video about that guy. And so heading into, it was the fall of 2021, December, they made a trade to acquire Adam Frazier from the Padres. And so I just made my first video talking about the trade, who they acquired, who they sent away. And I had a condenser mic, and, you know, I just used my phone on a tripod to record separately. And then I recorded audio separately. And I mean, backing up, I had started a fitness brand out of college with a buddy of mine. So I bought some of this equipment because I knew I wanted to be on YouTube at some point. Just didn't know what for. And so that trade happened, made my first video December 2021, and then just started, you know, consistently making more videos that I wanted to watch myself and just try to inform people on players and topics that I found were interesting. And I mean, that's led to where it is today. Like that first year, the first full season was 2022. And in August, September, I had I think around 800 subscribers or so, but I started making player profiles to where I would pick a player and make a video, kind of like a short film on a player and their story of how they got to where they are today. And whenever I create a long form video, I'll chop it up into shorts and then post it across platform. And I'll tag each player on Instagram for those shorts. And one day I was at my parents' house, and Andres Munoz, the Mariners closer, one of the best relief pitchers in all of baseball, he followed me on Instagram and he started liking all my posts. I was like, wait, what's happening? Like,
Did he
This
really?
is crazy.
That's cool.
So then I messaged him a link to his player profile that I had made, and he responded to me and he was like, yeah, I watch your videos. I'm a fan. I'm like, no freaking way. So from then it's like, okay, the players are obviously seeing this stuff. Even if I don't see them engaging or liking my stuff, I know that people are seeing this stuff. So that's extreme motivation to keep going and keep doing what I'm doing, because I know that it's making an impact whether I see it or not.
Yeah.
They ended up making the playoffs, and I ended up going to the first playoff game that they had in Seattle in 20 years. And so I DM'd Andres Munoz before the game on Instagram. I was like, hey, I'll be there. And then he was like, sounds good. I'll be coming out to the bullpen after like the second inning. So I'm out there at the bullpen, and there was some cops there. You know, it was packed, obviously. And I tell the cop, I'm like, hey, just so you know, like, I've been DMing with Andres Munoz, and he's going to be coming out here. I'm going to say hey. And he just like pulls down his sunglasses, looks at me, and says, no. He just says no. Like he did not believe me. It's like I could just be some random person that's
a good point.
pulling his leg or something. He's like, no. So then, you know,
Was this pre-mustache though?
yes.
The
The mustache is very, very new. So,
Yeah. See, that was the issue.
yeah.
We'll have a whole separate segment on the mustache.
That's why it's still here. I mean, it's not going anywhere.
Fantastic.
So the relievers end up coming out to the bullpen, and he starts looking around. I wave over, and then he comes over to me, and then I ask that same cop to take our picture.
That's
so
awesome.
it was just pretty cool.
That's
Dang.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Dude, did you? So, where did you come up with the name, the Couch GM? I mean, I know the reference, but did you just like, and the
Yeah.
logo is sick, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, you look at first off the name, it was because of fantasy sports.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's a couch GM.
Yep.
So everyone has their own opinion of what the team should do, who they should acquire, you know. So that's ultimately where the name came from. The logo came like a year later, I think. So my first iteration was just like the couch GM with a baseball as the O. It's just something super simple.
Yeah.
And then I got a caricature of myself done to where I was wearing like a Mariner jersey, like holding a video game controller, wearing headphones, because I thought I wanted to do like video game streaming also. So I had the couch GM where it was a caricature of me, and then I ended up connecting with a local designer, and I was like, I want an outline of someone sitting on a couch to look like the MLB logo, and then he made that
Oh
logo
man,
that I
it's on
currently have.
point.
Thanks.
I love it.
All credit to him. But yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. What's the craziest experience you've had since?
I mean, there's been a lot of pinch me moments.
Name a couple.
So my first interview was with Bryce Miller. He was a starting pitcher for the Mariners, and at the time, he was one of the top prospects. He wasn't called up to the big leagues yet, but I ended up getting a clue on who someone I should reach out to on Twitter was. I DM'd her. Eventually, she saw my message. She told me to DM someone else, who ended up being the media connect for the Mariners. And so I jumped on a phone call with him, explained what I'm doing, just trying to help share the players' stories basically. And at the same time, the Mariners are looking to get younger and who's watching, so the short form stuff. He helped set up that first Bryce Miller interview. Before that call, the Zoom call, I had 15 minutes with him. The butterflies were off the charts. Like, I was so nervous. That was my first interview of someone like ever. And so that was a pinch me moment, just getting through that and having that done. Then the first time that I was on the field as media, because about 3 months later, I asked, hey, can we get some more big leaguers on? And well, we don't really have time for that, but I could help get you credentialed. So I got media credentialed by Major League Baseball. And so now anytime that I want to cover a game or a series, I could technically apply to any stadium. And so I just applied to the Mariners credentials website or the MLB's credentials website. If they have room in the press box, then they'll approve me. So I have a seat in the press box.
Dude.
I go down onto the field pregame with my own setup, just trying to get player interviews. And, the first couple times I didn't know any of the unwritten rules of media. So I learned pretty quickly. But like Dave Sims, Rick Riz, Gary Hill Jr., Aaron Goldsmith, all these guys that are the everyday color commentators on TV and radio, they're right there, and I could just go talk to them. And then, Dave Sims is in the elevator. He's like, hey, how's it going? I see your videos. You're doing a good job. It's like,
Dude.
hey, thank you. It's like, it's insane. And then getting connected, through the adult league, the batting cage that we played at or practiced at in the off season got bought out by Mark Lowe. And so the prior owner connected me with Mark, jumped on with him, had him on the podcast. A family friend connected me to Tom Lampkin, who was a ex-big leaguer. And then eventually Tom Lampkin connected me to Jamie Moyer.
I saw that.
I mean, meeting Jamie Moyer is insane. He's a Mariners Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Mark Lowe's like, hey, do you want me to text Felix Hernandez for you? I'm like,
Oh, man.
what? So this is just the start. And my goal now is within a year to get Griffey on.
Yeah, that would be it. And if you do, let me know.
For sure. Because there's apparently a podcast studio just north of the stadium that Michael, my business partner now, that he has used before. So, yeah, I mean, it's just really cool to see where it's gone. I don't have butterflies really anymore. When I go up to the games on the field, I do have some anxiety just because it's like I don't know who I'm going to talk to, who I'm going to interview. And I want to be conscious of, they're getting ready for a game, so I don't want to annoy them. But it's kind of filling out who I might be able to get for a quick interview. So,
You want to hear Griffey's story?
yeah.
So this was back in, had to be 90. How old am I? So it had to be 90. And that's when the Brewers were still in the American League. And the Mariners were in town. And everybody, it doesn't matter if you're a baseball fan or not, everybody's a Griffey fan. And, dude, the stadium was packed. And my buddy, his dad, worked for Johnson Wax, Okay, Johnson & Johnson. And he got tickets like right up front. And I remember I'm maybe 4 rows back and Griffey's right there on the on deck circle. And I remember him like looking around. I'm just staring at him, and he looks like I think he saw me piercing I was like just staring at him because I'm in awe. I'm at Griffey, and he turns around, and I just like keep staring at him, and he does this. I go, oh, did you see that? Did you see that? He did that to me. He's like, bro, he was like, he was shooing away a fly or something. But I'm like, oh, man. But I was obsessed about Griffey.
Oh, yeah.
What would be your first question to Griffey?
That's a good question. Well, because ultimately with my podcast, whenever I have someone on first, I just want to get to know them and their story. So I'll just start back with how they got into baseball and, walk me through your childhood. Because obviously his dad was
His
a major
dad,
leaguer.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hear the inside of what it was like to be a major leaguer's son growing up and what that experience was like if he played other sports, what he did. Because he was coming up at like 19 years old or 20 years old or something like that. So
Oh, yeah.
he was super young. I just like to start with the progression of where they started out as a kid and then walking through that journey of how they got to where they are.
Yeah.
And then along the way, there's going to be a lot of follow-up questions, of course.
Oh,
but
dude. Yeah, man, that'd be great. Let me know about that. So,
I'll say, hey, can you wink in the camera real quick? I'll send it to my
Yeah.
buddy. Yeah.
Just a nod.
Yeah, just do a nod. This is for you.
Yeah, nothing signed or anything. Just a nod.
I was like a 13-year-old giving out the creeper vibes. I was just like this. So tell us about what you're doing with the real estate and realtors and helping them find kind of their brand through YouTube.
Yeah. So, through this all, I've learned a ton about YouTube and why people should be focusing on YouTube specifically for their video marketing. And it can be in any business. You could be all making the same types of videos that real estate agents make. And we would have the same type of success to just grow your business, providing value about people, to people about the area. But so recently when I was working with my current former employer, I started teaching video marketing one-on-one classes to real estate offices. And I just built out a slide deck, of here's kind of the gist of why you should be focusing on video marketing, the different platforms to use, long form, short form content, evergreen, trending content, and kind of the basic strategy of what to do when you're creating content. And when I switched companies, I got connected to a friend of mine now, Michael, who owns Praised Media is the name of his company. He started in LA as an actor and eventually moved up to Seattle, started his own media company. He's got videographers, editors, the entire process dialed in. So now him and I are teaming up to teach video marketing 101, 201, 301 classes to real estate offices. And we're available for hire. So, we're just there to provide value. And we're looking for the people that are wanting to really invest the time and effort into their personal brand and creating the content. A lot of people want to do stuff, but don't actually take the effort, put in the effort to get it done. So we're looking for people that are motivated to want to really take this on. And it's content creation from start to finish. I help with the ideation process of it and the overall strategy, as well as posting on YouTube and the back-end analytics. And then Michael and his team create the content, whether it's long forms, shorts, and then he actually will manage your Instagram for you as well. So yeah, we're just looking to help provide value. And it's like, I watch a ton of Hermosi and other people on YouTube. You could tell someone your entire playbook and exactly what you do. And that's what we do. But maybe 1% of people actually do it. So
Yeah.
we're just there to provide value, and whoever wants to team up, we're teaming up with them.
Yeah, and they're speaking at ThriveCon.
Yeah.
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 Talk
Those
about
three.
ThriveCon.
Be at ThriveCon.
Yeah.
ThriveCon.
Well, you do social media, Keys. You understand that. You understand how important having your brand, and it's not just about posting a video. And this is to both of you, I guess. Like, it's important to have what you want the result to be with what you post, right? You have to have an idea of what you want back before you post. Am I right about that?
Like an idea back. What do you mean?
Like, I'm going to post this because I want this in return.
Like a call to, kind of like a
yeah,
ROI or something
Yep.
like that. I mean, yes. So a lot of my people I work with, they don't use YouTube. Not for any reason, just that YouTube was growing. The shorts are fairly new. Not a lot of them wanted to turn their business, make extra headache. So like TikTok and YouTube, a lot of those business owners are like, I don't have time for that, blah, 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 blah. And so I think for the ROI, they need to look at all the different social media platforms. It's just,
Oh,
it's cool. We can just cut Kim out.
dude, that was it.
Yeah. Thank you. I was like, is that my hair?
Thanks, Austin.
Austin for the win.
No, you're good, bro. You're
No,
good.
thank you. Yeah, so for the ROI, I think they have to realize that there's a bigger picture when it comes to social media. Like you shouldn't just zone in on one particular platform. And I think when it comes to ROI, I think each platform is its own different thing. I don't know if you would agree or disagree to a point. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to make business. You got to gain engagement. That's what you want. But I don't know.
How I view video marketing is that it's all about brand awareness. and-
Storytelling.
Yeah, it's like you want to be on every platform so that you can get as many eyeballs as as possible, because it's all about allowing people to get to know, like, and trust you. And the only way to do that is through really video marketing. And if you're already doing, Instagram and shorts and stuff, you could take the time to, like, I would personally would focus on creating long form quality content for YouTube, because
Yeah.
Google and YouTube are the top two search engines in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
YouTube's not a social media, and people don't necessarily know about that. And just the power of the searchability and the shelf life of YouTube content. If you create a quality video today, that's educating someone and providing value. The fact that 5 years from now they could see that same video and become a lead and a client, versus Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads.
Yep.
That content might be relevant for days, weeks, maybe, So it's all about staying top of mind, brand awareness. And I would focus on creating quality content on YouTube, chopping it up, and then just posting the shorts everywhere to drive them back to your YouTube channel. And then they get to know, like, and trust you while watching your YouTube videos, and just kind of go from there.
I think you nailed it when you said YouTube is not a social media platform. And people think that it is all the time. And that's why I outsource. I don't do YouTube. I outsource. Might be different for us because we're in-house a little bit more when it comes to Business Over Beer Untapped and everything. But I try to make sure, hey, no, you need to go talk to so-and-so if you want to do your brand for YouTube. Have that presence different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you nailed it. People don't know. They think it's just another platform that they have to be posting on. They think that you can cross post platforms, but YouTube's its own other beast.
And when you
Can't treat it the same.
kind of go back to what you were saying about thinking about what you want out of it, I feel like if you're going to be posting YouTube content, everyone's end goal is that you want more exposure, you want more business out of it, but you need to go into the content creation with YouTube 100% into providing value. So there's certain metrics when you're on YouTube that are very important. Like, the most important thing is to get people to click on your video. How do you do that? It's through the click-through rate. And so creating a thumbnail and a title that are engaging, going to be drawing people's emotion, that are going to get them to want to click on the video. And then once they click on the video, it's about the 30-second retention and then the average view duration. Like, if you look at the analytics of a video, that first 30 seconds of your video is grayed out. It's like, this is the most important part of it, right? So no introductions when you start a video. It's get straight into providing value, or, creating that hook for the first 30 seconds to a minute. Then you could do your introduction and do a little thing. And that's, if you watch my sports videos, like, I have, my mortgage business now sponsors my sports videos. And so, like, a minute, 2 minutes in is when I have my little mortgage ad. And you'll look at the view chart, and of course there's going to be a big drop off when people get to the ad part, but I expect that. But yeah, it's about getting people to click, keeping them on the video for as long as possible, especially that first 30 seconds, and just providing the most value. Because if you're providing value, then that's where the average view duration is going to be high. People are going to want to watch your entire video, and then that will lead to leads and clients from that.
Dude, Holy cow.
Do you think YouTube Shorts has helped with that? Getting that,
It's kinda
bringing in that attention span?
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly and how many views you can get on YouTube Shorts and also TikTok.
Yeah.
Like my shorts, I might get 1,000, 2,000 views on a short in the first day.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it's consistent. It's like 1,500 views. It could be like within an hour, 1,000 views on a short. And then if you're taking, if you're chopping up your longs into shorts, and then that video is getting 1,000 views, with your shorts, you can link a long form video on YouTube. So if someone's watching on the shorts feed, they're watching your short right there, that's popping up is your long form video. So if they click on that, then it goes to your long form video. And so it's all trying to drive people back to the long form, but having the shorts a good analogy is like Costco. You're walking around, you're getting the samples of the items. If you go and buy that product and it's totally different, then you're gonna be like, oh, what is this? Versus that short is actually showing what your full length content is. So people that like that short, that sample, they're going to go buy and want to subscribe and watch your other stuff too.
I got the short for this. It'll be the time I creeped Ken Griffey Jr. out. It'll be my story. It'll get like
5 million views. Oh my gosh. No, yeah.
Just kidding. I love it. I think that there are so many people out there, and I'm like one of them, who you told me about the shorts a while ago, about the YouTube shorts, and you were like, man, this is it. Like you should really look into that. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. But you were right, man. Like you have it. Is that one of the things that you're going to be teaching and talking about at ThriveCon, are like specific strategies like that?
Yeah, we're going to be given the blueprint of exactly what to do. I think the setup of how we're doing it at ThriveCon is going to be like a 101 and then a 201 class. I think we'll have 2 breakout sessions. So the first one we'll be doing the video marketing 101 class, which is like the overview of kind of the gist of what there is available, what you should be doing. And then as a part of that 101 class at the very end, we help you create your first video.
Dude,
it's just,
that's sick.
like, the green screen
that
you see on social media? People, so many times that we've taught that class, we show them how to do the green screen. They're like, oh, that's so easy. It's like, yeah, it's super easy. It's just knowing how to do something.
Yeah.
And then if we could just add one tool to your tool belt to help get out there, and the second that, interest rates come down, take a screenshot of that article, put it in the background, talk about it, and then you're providing value. People are going to be sharing that. It's engaging. It's not just a selfie video, it's adding to it, right? And so that'll be 101, and then the 201 class is going to be more in depth, and then we have the 301, which we'll teach separately. So
Yeah. It'll be after ThriveCon.
Yeah.
Like a good follow-up.
It'll be a lot of good stuff.
Silly me. Keys, what is ThriveCon? What are we talking about, by the way?
Yeah, ThriveCon. Why are you saying it? You should say it.
Ben,
Fine.
Ben, what is ThriveCon?
Come on, Ben. I talk all the time. It's your turn to talk.
ThriveCon, we held it last year. It's a convention for small business owners, entrepreneurs, self-starters who want to better themselves, not just in their business, but in their actual lives as well. So it's think of like a Comic-Con, but for small business owners and entrepreneurs.
Okay, that was pretty good.
Can
Good
we
job.
wear costumes?
Dude,
Please.
you should. Well, you're going to be wearing your couch GM.
I'll be dressed up like a baseball player or something.
Oh, I thought you were going to come as a couch.
I could do a couch too. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
That'd be perfect.
Different spin on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
We're going to have speakers, right?
Yes, we're going to have breakout speakers, breakout sessions, and it's a wide variety of different topics. Obviously, your topic is pretty near and dear to my heart because I love being creative, and content creating is so much fun. Like I said, I wish some people would want to do some YouTube, but it's out of my wheelhouse. That's why we have you. In fact, you're editing this podcast, right? Just kidding. Just kidding.
He's like, I don't know that was part of the deal.
Yeah. Just kidding. It's going to be a full day convention. We're going to focus on mental health and then all the different breakout sessions. But the night before is going to be a red carpet party. And that's going to be a good time. We're going to try to do live music, awards ceremony, like member of the year, sponsor of the year, community partner of the year, whatever that looks like. And then just a good chance to meet all the speakers and break that ice early on. So the next day can just be fully just development, and whether it's mental, personal, spiritual, whatever that development looks like for that individual.
Love that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
You know what we should start doing at Passages? Is I was just thinking, because Connor did it, like, instead of like player profile, like business, like small, like our member profile, and but have it like, you know, their stats, like the year they started, you know, are they a rookie?
I love that.
That'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of fun. And I think it would be a good way. It would be a good way for them to learn how to use that as a reel. Like, it would be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
No, that's a great idea.
Dang, that sounds
And
like fun.
Do you have a YouTube channel yet?
Not for this new one. Not for the new version.
Because some of the overall like videos that you could be making, you know, one is a business spotlight.
Yeah.
So going out and interviewing local businesses in the area that you're wanting to, you know, attract.
Which I want to do.
Yeah.
You're providing value to the business owner. You're allowing people to learn about, you know, and a lot of the people that are watching that content on YouTube are people that are relocating to the area that are looking for what's going on in this area. What can I expect?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's providing free marketing to a business owner.
Yeah.
It's providing value to someone that might be moving here or already lives here and learning about a new business.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Off topic, that's one of the ways I want to do to kind of, you know, highlight you guys as speakers is also go to your surrounding little neighbors and talk to them. Be like, hey, what do you know about YouTube channel? What do you know about content creating, videography, whatever that looks like? And just kind of interview your surrounding little neighbors. So then they also know exactly what you do, because maybe they don't understand what you do or what you offer, what your services are. And then be like, oh, and come to ThriveCon. Here's a free ticket or something
Love
like
that.
that, you know?
Yeah.
Just to kind of spread the word a little bit. And then also exposure for you. Almost film it like a Billy on the street moment.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
for sure. Who's your ideal attendee of the event?
That's a great question. Well, for me, small business owner, but I don't. So this year's ThriveCon is, I want it to be real estate focused because, like we said earlier, so many of the people in the real estate industry, as of starting 2 years ago or beginning 2 years ago, gave up, and they gave up because they didn't have the right. Either they didn't have the right mentality, or they were told things that weren't true, or they just weren't prepared for it. I want to change that narrative because real estate is near to dear to my heart. Like, I love real estate. I'm like you. I read a different book. It was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But same message, man. Like, you create, he did a lot of his stuff through real estate. So I learned through that, and it's near to dear to my heart. So I want them to succeed, because if they succeed, the community succeeds and everybody succeeds. It's fact. So I want more people in the real estate industry to come to this ThriveCon, as well as the small business owner, entrepreneur.
I mean, a 50-50 would be great.
That would be great.
On that audience, including if you're a vendor and if you're an attendee. Like a 50-50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think you got more questions.
No, put me on the spot.
I know.
Do you have questions?
How are things going? I mean, I haven't seen you in a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
You know?
Austin, do you have questions?
Austin, do you have questions?
He's like, keep my name out of it.
Well, Connor, man, hey, seriously, thank you so much for being a part of this, and thank you for being a part of ThriveCon. Thank you for what you're doing. I am so freaking proud to know you, and like, you are a guy I talk about all the time as a success story. Please keep it up. Good luck to you in the future. We'll see you at ThriveCon. Keys, where can people find you, by
Yeah, I
the
was
way?
going to say, he's got to plug himself.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm on social medias as Broker Connor Webb is my personal /mortgage Instagram handle, and also on YouTube. And then the Couch GM anywhere. You know, look for the guy sitting on the couch that looks like the baseball logo. So got the two different accounts.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you both for having me and the opportunity.
Yeah,
and
of
being a
course,
part of it.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool to hear more about what you do. You know, I don't know you as well as Ben, so thank you. Appreciate
Where can
it.
people find us, Keys?
Yeah, Passages to Success, the word to, T-O, not the number.
Yeah.
It's been some confusion with that. Passages to Success. That's where you'll find all the ThriveCon information, all of our wonderful speakers like Connor, and then also Biz Over Beer is
Biz
our
Over
TikTok.
Beer. Yep. Biz
Yep.
Over Beer. We're on YouTube too. So, yep.
And our new Business Over Beer
Untapped.
coming first episode. Look at that.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I want to thank Austin too, and Dev's Coffee here in Battleground in the BGWA.
Check out the Failure Podcast on YouTube.
The Failure Podcast is on point.
Yeah.
Another one of my boys. I'm like you guys. I'm proud of you guys. Proud to know you guys.